Welcome to Generation Dragons, episode 49. Steve, good to see you, friend.
My man, cheers.
Dink.
Clink. How you doing?
Good. Not too bad. Glad it's a Thursday, because that means tomorrow is a Friday.
Hooray!
Yeah. But yeah, that's it. I know, first off, I get better kick off before we start going into other things. Kick off and say thanks, everyone, for tuning in this fine evening, morning, pre-evening, nighttime, overnight, whatever you're listening or watching. So thanks again. If you're new to it, please subscribe at the bottom under the video, or subscribe to us on your podcasting platforms. So Steve, sir, before we jump into the things that we were going to talk about today, I just wanted to kind of give you an update of Horizon and Uncharted.
How is it, actually?
So I played Horizon, came out on Friday. I've played it. It's good. It's freaking beautiful. It's very nice. It plays. I'm not very far into it, so I can't say this or that about it, but it's so far so good. I can already notice the improvements on some stuff, like talking with people and their facial movements, and water looks amazing. The movement is good. They have both like a fidelity mode and like a performance mode and fidelity mode. Yeah, I think it's the two separate ones.
It moves so like it just looks smooth when they speak, and like the skin and everything. So it doesn't look like I'm talking like this and my mouth.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, so like play. It goes 30 frames at 4K and 60 frames at 1900p or something like that. So both look good, but it's actually a toss up of which way I want to play it. Most of the games that do the two separations always have been mostly go 4K versus the other. But this time around, I'm actually struggling. So I'm hoping, and talking with friend of the show, Jared. We're talking with him. He mentioned that like what they did in Ratchet and Clank, where they put it like an in between for TVs that are 120 hertz and stuff like that, where it's like a 40 frames per second, 40 FPS versus, and then what was the other? And then like the resolution was not quite 4K, but pretty damn close to 4K. So hopefully they do something like that with this one. But it's not out yet, and hopefully it comes out soon. Then they also released the pictures of what PSVR 2 looks like.
I saw that.
Giving me Oculus Rift.
It does, has the circle rings like the Oculus. It's still wired, if I remember right, though.
It is, yeah. So looking forward to that. I expect that's probably going to come later this year, especially if they're releasing the pictures like this, and they've announced a couple games for it already. So looking forward to it. Hopefully it's not as much as the console itself, because that would...
Yeah, right? Just like the last one.
Yeah, exactly. And then the last little bit, I saw Uncharted on the weekend, and if you've never played Uncharted, it's a decent action movie. If you played Uncharted, it's a very good nod to the movie or to the game. There is a nice little Easter egg in it. Well, I wouldn't say Easter egg; it's pretty much right at the front, but near the end of the movie. But as soon as you see it, you're gonna be like, ha 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 ha. That's awesome, especially if you've played the games and stuff.
I'll be looking forward to that when I finally get to play it.
So yeah, that's it, man. That's just little updates on those. And if you're still tuning in after our little talks and updates and all that stuff, we're gonna rank our top 5-ish Star Wars and Star Trek ships. Hence the sweet T-shirt I'm wearing and the sweet T-shirt Steve's wearing.
You can tell what we represent.
Don't mind the nips. You might see some nips in this show.
It is a little chilly. I could probably cut glass.
Yep, me too. Hence the arms crossing to keep them warm. So, so Steve, you want to kick it off with one of your top? All
right. Let me pull it up.
Star Trek ships.
All right, I'm going to pick one right off the top here, which I don't get why anyone in any type of military faction, Navy, whatever, wouldn't do. So I'm going to start with, from the Kelvin timeline, the U.S.S. Vengeance. It was built by the augmented Khan, and it was built to be nothing but a battleship, fastest, toughest ship. And he, of course, like he gets outsmarted by Kirk and Spock, and they beam over torpedoes or some tubes of his brothers, if I remember like that, and sisters. But it's actually the Starfleet guys in there, and they come out and try to take over the ship and blow it up from within inside because they put explosives in there. Probably butchering it because it's been a while since I watched it, but why wouldn't you do that? Like, you're fighting like the Klingons, Romulans, and all these other things. Why wouldn't you build a ship that kicks ass?
What was that in movie?
Star Trek 2 from the new reboot.
Okay, yeah, okay, that's what it was. Yeah, okay. Just
but like the ship was just crazy awesome, man. Like, yeah. Anyway, that's all I'll say. Why wouldn't you build a battleship when you have to fight besides explore?
I mean, same reason.
Purpose-built ships.
Same reason. Why do you go into a clearly haunted and or murderous places and you still go to it? You just
And why do you wear a red shirt? All right, man. So we don't spend too much on that because that's the lowest of my list.
Yeah,
of the ones with Star Wars.
Star Wars. I mean, so Star Wars, as many people know, and as you know, Steve, there's a lot of ships to choose from, as there is in Star Trek. But I mean, for me, and this isn't any specifically ranked, but one that I've always kind of liked is the Naboo Starfighter, and it's
like the one from episode 1 with where Anakin gets in there, and the one they just recently have on Boba Fett.
Exactly,
it's a slick looking ship.
Yeah.
We actually a few months ago built that model with Erica.
Nice. It is. I really like the ship. I've always liked the design of it. Right, it's kind of like a stingray or some sort of ray of fish. The games, we had multiple games that came out, like Starfighter, Revenge, that came out and kind of had it based on it. It's always been kind of a favorite of mine. It's always like you said, a slick looking ship. It's nice to see it come back and what they did in Book of Boba, and Mando picking that up. So
yeah,
that is one of my top 5 ships.
Good number 5. Believe it or not, I used to have that as a alarm clock.
Oh, that's cool.
So when the alarm would go off, it had a little arm, and the ship would come up, and that's how I'd wake up.
Nice.
So,
nice.
Yeah, it was good. All right, so going back to Star Trek, there's so many to pick from, but I'm going to pick one I have in honorable mentions because, again, why wouldn't you do this? So the U.S.S. Pegasus, you probably don't know the show well enough, but so in Star Trek, Starfleet signs a treaty where they'll never develop cloaking devices in good faith, but the Klingons and everyone else and Romulans can. No big deal. Who would ever do that?
Yeah.
But anyway, this ship was made in secret, and its ability that they developed was not only a cloak, but it was a mesophasic cloak. Like it could kind of be like a transporter, half into reality and half out, so it could pass through things. So the idea is like that somebody could shoot at me and you just go right through me. Who cares? And when I want, I'll shoot something through you that can go right through you and then materialize it and boom. Like, why didn't they explore that? Why did they even bring that up? Because who in their right mind wouldn't develop that if they could? It would give you such an upper hand.
Yeah.
Anyway, U.S.S. Pegasus from Star Trek The Next Generation. Riker first served on it before he went to the Enterprise at some point. And most of the crew were killed because they had an accident and materialized in an asteroid. So half the ship was in the asteroid, half the ship was out. And then they find it, and the Enterprise adapts their cloak to get out, and the Romulans are looking for it. But in the end of it all, who the heck wouldn't develop that? It's like, even if you're lying about it, you want the upper hand, don't you? Against your enemies. So,
well, I mean,
anyway,
it sounds like it was just a proof of concept, that ship, and then it clearly didn't work because they materialized inside of a meteor.
Fair enough, but I mean, with such hope, I would still be pushing that. Like the Enterprise went through solid rock, and it came up, and decloaks, and the Romulan Diedrich class warbird is sitting there waiting and looking for them, but they're already out. And then there's the whole debate: do we tell them? Do we decloak and tell them? And of course they do because they have to be honorable and proper. I'd be out of there.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
All right, man, you're up. What do you got?
I mean, this is controversial, I'm sure, for some people, but Star Killer Base. I mean, is it a ship? Is it a is
Okay,
it a
go.
ship? Is it a planet? I'll even put the Death Star in there. Is the Death Star a ship? Yes, the Death Star is a ship because it floated in
It can
space.
fly,
It can
but
fly.
can it jump? Yeah, it
Yeah,
can. It has to
actually,
because it has to go blow up other stars. So
yeah,
yeah, it's a ship.
yeah. It's a ship. It's a ship. Now,
Other planets, that is.
Star Killer. I'm gonna put Star Killer on here. I'm accepting it as a ship. I mean, hey, on this planet Earth, this ship, planet Earth, the planet Earth, this ship, whatever it's called,
Okay, I see your
right?
logic.
So that's what I'm going with. Not that it's a good one, but
But the planet Earth is stuck in an orbit. Starkiller
yeah,
Base is not.
exactly.
So,
And hey, it fires lasers. Does our Earth fire lasers? No. So taking that as
oh
a
yeah,
ship.
I'll get my little pointers and start.
Yeah.
I'll be full of cats if I do that.
Yeah, just start showing up, knocking on your window.
All right, so I'll go jump into Star Trek again. Now we're getting if we're going down to three. So I kind of did two of the kind of weirdish ones. I'm gonna go with the Borg cube.
Okay.
Like that thing just practically can't be beat. It's literally the main ship from the Borg. That one ship can conquer whole civilizations, assimilate them, start making more ships.
Yeah.
Like almost everyone they go up against, besides a couple, they just wait them out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the Borg ship back in the next gen time was like the biggest enemy they had and the scariest villain in the I'd say in the show.
Right.
You know, so that's my number three, the Borg cube.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair one. I at least know that ship, and that's a fair pick. I'm surprised. I mean, makes sense to be number three. I would think it would be almost higher, but it is what
Because
it
I'm
is.
limited with numbers.
Yeah, that's exactly. I guess that's true, right? That is true. I mean, another one for me. I guess this is number three for myself, or number two. I don't know what number on. It doesn't matter. Is the Mon Calamari cruisers?
Oh, nice.
Right, and the only because they're so iconic, right? The bubble ships, the way
Yeah.
they look. The only reason why the Mon Calamari are a part of the rebellion because of their ships. The rebellion needed their ships and joined the rebellion, and then they've been used all the way through since the OG episode. So
Yeah.
it's one of the best. They can be used as warships and or personnel. So
Yeah, if I remember the lore right, they were like cruise ships, like or something like
yeah,
that, right? And then
yeah,
they converted them into for the war effort.
yep. So that's my it's a trap. Is
I just pictured those bubble eyes.
yeah, it's a trap.
Oh man! All right, back to Star Trek. Let's see. Next, I'm going to go with probably the Scimitar. So it's a Romulan ship,
Okay.
massive Romulan ship built for battle. It's probably of all the ships I put on the list, and maybe all of Star Trek, unless you start talking about really weird ones. But out of like the main races and what they built to the pinnacle of their technology, Scimitar was just this massive battleship that could fire well cloaked. I had 52 disruptor banks, 27 torpedo bays, which I'm reading, two sets of shields, so primary and secondary shields. It had like this Thorian. Am I getting that right? I can't remember. Anyway, this type of radiation weapon that they could use just to kill a whole planet.
Wow.
Like this thing was just built for killing and battling. So that's why it's up there on one of my favorites, just because it's so unstoppable and massive. Of course, the Enterprise destroys it.
Somehow destroys it.
Right.
Yeah.
In the way that they always do. They ram everything when they can't do anything else. So, but yeah, that would be my. I guess that's my number two.
Okay, so my number two. So this is a toss-up, friend. I struggle because, you know what? I'm just gonna go with the Rebellion fleet of smaller aircraft. So that's the X-wings, the Y-wings,
Spacecraft?
Yeah, spacecraft. Sorry, aircraft, spacecraft. Y-wings, X-wings, A-wings, all the wings. Just because of what they're capable of across the board and how they're smaller ships. Obviously, they all are light speed capable or light travel capable, whatever the
Not all of
terminology.
them. So some of them
Well,
are,
the
but
A wing,
almost
so
all
like
of them.
the A wing isn't, but the Y wings were, the X wings were.
The A-wing is with a jump jet, like
Yeah, but
because
yeah,
they're like the Jedi's.
yeah,
So
but that's exactly it. It needs an extra thing to help them, right? So I've always liked the ships. It's hard to pick one. Like the X wing's probably the most iconic, but the bombers are always good. Um, I always
you ever
enjoyed.
play when you were young and you ever be like, launch the alphabet, all letters attack.
Yeah, no, that I can't say, but I mean I did play a lot of Star Wars Rogue Squadron, and
Great game.
so
Yeah,
like that was cool. That was probably where I enjoyed most of those ships.
it was actually a very good game. I could get playing that tonight
Oh
if I
yeah,
wanted.
yeah. Well, I kind of want to go hook up the GameCube and jump into that.
So going down to my number one, and God, I could go into the GameCube and play that right now.
Yeah,
Going down to my number one, I gotta mention a quick honorable mention because it's almost my favorite. And that's the Enterprise E refit. So that's after next gen in the movies, and by the time I think after they fight the Borg, when they fight the Scimitar, it's already been upgraded. And it's just a sleek ship, very powerful, much more designed for as a battleship slash explorer
right.
versus the previous Enterprise D. So that said, Enterprise D is my favorite ship out of
Okay.
all. It's just it's kind of where I see Star Trek should be. It's the exact definition of how I thought the show should be, where you're basically exploring space. It's a family ship because you're meant to be there for years and years.
Right.
It's a community. It's like a mini city. And it just next gen lived on it, right? So that whole series, I was very disappointed when they destroyed the ship so easily in the movies, and that really bothered me. Like, how
Yeah.
easily they killed the ship. I think it was in Generations with the Klingon warbird firing through the shields, and they couldn't do anything about it. And I'm like,
Uh,
what? How many times have they fought things like that?
yeah.
Like,
Just
in those scenarios, but. It is what it is. Enterprise D is my favorite. I could go into reason after reason. Even All Good Things Enterprise when they soup it up with the super cannon and third warp nacelle, which kind of got erased after the movies because that timeline never existed anymore. But
right.
Enterprise D.
Nice.
All right,
Nice. Nice.
your favorite.
All right. So
Star Wars.
for Star Wars. So I've got a couple. I got two honorable mentions. One is the Razor Crest from Mando. The ship itself is it's always
it's too
been
out of focus.
it's always been a beautiful ship. I always liked the way they leveraged it in the show, and it's too bad it got destroyed. And then
Yeah, that disappointed me quite a bit actually.
the slave the
You
slave.
can't live in the Naboo starfighter.
No, exactly right, exactly. And then the slave 2. Or slave one.
That's the one I hate the most. And that's your favorite?
No, I'm saying it's an honorable mention of it's not my favorite.
Oh, honorable mention. Okay.
Yeah. No, my favorite Star Wars ship is the Millennium Falcon, man. It does,
How could you go wrong with that?
exactly. Everyone knows the Millennium Falcon. It's so iconic. And I'm now drawing a blank, and I'm very disappointed in myself. It does the
Kessel
what?
Run in
2
12
parsecs
parsecs?
or 12 parsecs?
12.
Yeah, 12 parsecs exactly.
Or is it 10?
Is it 10 parsecs? That's it.
Yeah,
the
it's
Kessel.
12.
See how how did I mess that one up? Come on, Clint. But yes,
How about I challenge you to a tiny bit of trivia before we finish off? What's the Ebon Hawk?
the Ebon Hawk
You'd have to know the extended canon and stuff. It's not really
of Star
Main
Wars
Street.
or Star Trek?
Star Wars. Star Wars.
Okay, actual
I'll even
canon,
let you.
actual
No.
canon, or okay.
No,
Well, then.
but I figured you know this for a reason, though. Do a quick Google search. See if it brings back a memory.
The Ebon Hawk.
Yeah, just type Star Wars Ebon Hawk and then.
I'm afraid this is gonna be a dirty one, Steve.
It's definitely not dirty.
Let's see. Hold on here. I think I spelled a lot of the words wrong. I did. Oh. Ew, what the hell is... Oh. Oh, Knights of the Old Republic. Yes, okay, yep. Oh,
Yeah.
It's considered Legends. Oh, that's too bad. I thought they made this a.
Yeah, I know.
Interesting.
But
Maybe that'll switch from Legends to actual canon now.
I just feel like I spent so much time in that ship that it was worth a mention.
Yeah, no, that is fair. I completely forgot about this ship in the game.
Looks like we're gonna have to get over there and do some Star Wars with you for a little bit. I could
Yeah,
definitely use a brush up and enjoy it, and
yeah, we'll have to do some Star Wars games. I
I'll
guess.
slip in some Star Trek without telling you. See what happens.
I mean, Star Wars Day is only a few months away, good sir. Just a couple months away.
May the Force be with you.
Yeah, Steve. So, thank you for coming with us on this journey today to discuss our top 5-ish ships. Steve, well, I know we're on episode 49. We are going to get together for episode 50.
Even if we have to delay something, we're gonna make it happen.
That's exactly.
Or backtrack record.
Or backtrack record. We'll release 51 and then re-release 50. Yeah. So, Steve, it's good to see you again, sir. I miss you. I miss all of you. I miss all of you. But I haven't seen Steve in so long, other than on this.
I know.
You guys have probably seen Steve just as much as I have while you're watching us on the screen. And the one thing I forgot to mention is the old Xbox fridge that I have sitting beside me.
Oh my God! Take 2 seconds. Can you show it?
Let's see how this goes. Don't mind the mess. I don't know if I'll be able to get the angle. Hold on here, Steven.
That's all right, man.
No, I don't think we can get it. Can you see it yet? Nope, too far. Anything?
And...
I just don't have enough cable here.
Oh, I see the corner. Yep, there it is. Beauty, man. From here, it just looks like it's your Series X.
That's pretty much what it looks like, right? So
I'm pretty jealous because I'd be putting it, just for the show alone, I'd be putting it right here so I have a place to keep the cans when we have beers cold. Because normally I just stack up a couple of cans here and crack and pour, and it's half warm by the time we get to it.
It's almost in reach. So just a little hop down, then I can reach it. But we'll keep that for our live show. We'll just put it right between us, Steve, and we'll just crack open beers and go through it. Anyways, everybody. Thanks again thanks for tuning in today and listening or watching us. Again, if you've watched this whole thing and you liked what you've watched, subscribe. Steve, as always,
man, keep collecting,
keep gaming, and keep safe. Dink.